Hello, everybody. It is Michael Whitehouse, and we gotta talk. StreamYard does have this wonderful function where I can put videos in, and it'll play them. I can have like an intro sequence, but that requires me to actually make an intro sequence, which I have not yet done. If anyone would like to make an intro sequence, I will certainly use it. It'll be quick, short. I'll definitely give you a shout out and promotion to my dozens, ones, three, both of my fans, both people who watch. I'll promote you heavily too. I don't think anyone's going to do it. But if you're like, I wish you had an intro sequence and I can make one, I will take you up on that offer. Go ahead. So we're going to be talking about a few different things today. Let me bring up my notes. Where are my notes? Here they are. Here are my notes on this other screen that you can't see. We're going to talk about a few different things. I'm going to talk about the benefits that I got from coaching people who did not have millions of dollars. Going to talk about GameStop, because how can we not talk about GameStop and all that's happening there and what it means and what it doesn't mean. I'm going to talk about how I got my 6-year-old daughter to do all of her schoolwork without complaining about it, and how I got her to sleep in her own bed, both using the same concept, and how that applies to getting people to wear masks and fight COVID. I also want to talk about sleeping your way to the top, something I have a great deal of experience. No, something I know nothing about, but got to talk about that concept, as well as the idea of if you look deeply enough at your problems, you may discover they're not as big as you think. So if I were more professional, I would have pre-prepared these banners and wouldn't be typing them right now as we're talking. But since no one's paying me for this, I'm going to do whatever I want. If you don't like it, I don't care. So coaching for real results. So I have been a coach for a long time, been helping people out for a long time, teaching in a number of different ways for a long time. But I've been professionally a coach for a bit over half a year. And when I first got into the coaching space, I did so because I worked with a coach who taught me some strategies for getting clients. But a lot of the people who were teaching this really focused on high ticket sales, making $100,000 a month, big money stuff. And I saw something recently in a group that was quite true. It said, the $500 client says, I'm making a big investment here, and we're really working together, and I really need to make sure this works, and I see returns. I think I got faith you're going to make something happen for me, but I'm really really excited about what this could become, because I'm really counting on this to work. The $5,000 client will say, I sent the money. Pretty much it. For the $5,000 client, nobody spends their last $5,000 on coaching, right? If they're spending $5,000 on coaching, they have $50,000. It's part of their investment. A lot of $500 clients, it's not one of 50 investments. That's their big play. And what that taught me, which was both good and bad, is it taught me that I really need to deliver real solid results. There's a lot of coaches out there who are so fixated on selling you their product, getting you on board, and they know they're going to teach you something that'll benefit you. And it's it's up to you to figure out how you're going to make something work with it. But pay me, you'll get my thing, and it'll probably work, I guess. I don't know. Whereas to me, because I'm the audience I've chosen to work with is people who really need it, the ones who need to get into first gear, the ones who need to get on the highway in the first place. Well, those are the ones who they're one shot at getting out of wherever they're stuck to getting to their potential, maybe me. And I really want to make sure that I can deliver that. And frankly, that's why I had a streak. I'd sign up like a client a week for 2 months. And then I started to wonder, a couple of those clients, some of those clients I've really been able to help. And some of those clients I wasn't actually quite the right fit for. And the sales strategy I had, frankly, was so effective that there's no question of if I was the right person, I was kind of selling them on the dream. It was very effective sales strategy. But then I'd work with them and I'd say, I don't know if I'm right for you, but I'm taking your money. I feel really bad about that. And I really had to kind of step back and retrench and back off that business, because I didn't want to work with someone and take their money, their hard-earned money, the money they really needed, unless I was absolutely sure I could work with them. And I no longer use that strategy anymore because it works too well. I was getting people to sign up. They'd be a month, 2 months in before we found it. And I think I helped everyone I worked with. But did I provide sufficient value? I don't know. And now I only work with people. The process is now much more consultative, and I sign on a much lower percentage of the people I talk to because I will turn them away if they're not a fit. If it's someone who I think, well, maybe I can help you, but I don't think I'm the best solution for you, I'll connect you with someone else. And I think because I've worked in that really hands-on space, the people who I know, and of course I've been there. I've been in a place where $500 is like, I've got one shot. This is not one of 5 things I'm hiring. This is one thing, and it's a stretch that it gives me a greater appreciation of focusing on real results. Not saying, oh yeah, I'm going to teach you some strategies and good luck. But to really, that I need to, if I'm going to be your only coach, I need to deliver real results. Now, there are coaches and courses and consultants who will teach you a particular thing. They're going to teach you how to do social media. They'll teach you how to do SEO. They'll teach you how to manage your time. Great. If that's the one thing you need, awesome. But if you don't even have your business straightened out, you don't know what your core offering is, you don't know, those fundamentals, you don't need these particular strategies. You need to get the foundation laid. And that's the space I operate in. And so, I've become very alert to what I need, what I can provide. And what I can provide is the value I know I can provide is, first off, I can help with reflection. If someone says, I know pretty much what I'm doing, and at the end of the week, I know what I didn't do. Like, I know where I should be going, and I'm not going there. That's absolutely what I can help with. I can bring that out. I can provide that focus, that accountability, that, just checking in. You tell me how you're going to do this, that, and the other thing in next week. And next week, I say, how'd this go? How'd that go? How'd the other thing go? I can check back on in there. I can provide networking. I can provide access to a network. I can provide introductions to other people that someone might want to know. I can provide that kind of value. If you're trying to go from $10,000 a month to $100,000 a month, and you know how to do it, but you need to stay on track, I can help with that. If you don't know how to do it and someone teach you, that's not me. I can introduce some people. I know some people who can definitely teach those kinds of strategies. But I'm discovering there's all kinds of different people who are called coaches. And it's a great, yes, some folks need a 3-legged race kind of partnership for clarity, accountability, and real results. Yes, that's the kind of person I can help. I'm not sure why it's not showing me who you are, but thank you, random citizen. StreamYard's funny in what it lets through and what it doesn't. I think anyone who comments in a group, because this is going out on my personal page, on my business page, and in some groups, as well as YouTube and Periscope. So I think if you're commenting in a group, I can see your comment, but not who you are, I think is how that works. I'm not sure. I don't know. I turn on StreamYard, I talk, people seem to be responding. It seems to work. I don't know what's happening. The internet stuff. Really want to know people who don't know what's happening. It's Wall Street. Wow. We'll get to that in a second. Oh, hello, Elizabeth. Thanks for letting me know who you are. I appreciate you watching and commenting. But yeah, so that's what I find is that's kind of the strength and what I'm really able to offer. But there's some coaches like that who are, that long haul, checking in, being there for the accountability. And that's what my pricing is based on. It's a lower price for that kind of low key, long-term engagement. But then others are, I'm going to teach you this. I'm going to teach you in 25 days. I'm going to teach you in 45 days and teach you in 12 weeks. You're going to learn this thing. Boom. It's more of a course, or it's a limited range coaching program. I'm going to move you from here to here. It's not what I do. I'm going to do the 3-legged race, as Elizabeth said, and kind of work you along on that step. And that's something I've learned actually pretty rapidly from July to January. That's a pretty fast growth curve, fairly vertical learning curve. So yeah, I just want to touch on that. And with this, I'm going to be talking a bit more, and we got to talk about my actual coaching stuff, the business stuff, a bit less about contentious issues, although I will be talking about news items such as GameStop. Speaking of which, Speaking of which, GameStop. Put that on the screen. GameStop. So some of you are following what's going on, and a couple of you may even be like financial people and actually know exactly what's going on. Many people are like, I have no idea what's going on. What's going on? What are you even talking about with this GameStop thing? So GameStop. And actually, let me see if I can bring up a graphic of this. That'll work if I can share it. Can I share this? Let's see if I can share the screen here with you. I'm still figuring out how this works. As I said, sharing the screen is easier with 2 monitors. Yeah, I know. Thanks for telling me that. Ah, there we go. Can you see that? You can probably see that. So if we look here, what you'll see is, they'll make it bigger so you can see it. You can see this hockey stick shaped thing here. So they were trading around, $12, $13, $15, $18. And then they went up to 347 and then down to 193 and then up to 327. They're 328 right now. All right. That doesn't happen unless they announce they have the cure for cancer or something. That just doesn't happen. That is bananas, quite frankly. So what is happening? So a couple things are happening or may be happening. One is that there's this Reddit group called Wall Street Bets. I think it's Wall Street Bets, which contained 1 million people. And now I'm not a news source. Check your own sources. I could have some of these details wrong. I believe what happened was that there was a hedge fund that was going to short the stock on GameStop. What does shorting mean? Shorting means I will gladly pay you on Tuesday for a stock I will sell you today. So you're betting it's going to go down. You are selling the stock at its price today and promising contractually to buy it a few days later. You're borrowing a share of stock to sell. So if it's at 15 and you expect it, or let's say 10. At 10, you expect it to go to 5. You sell it at 10, and then 2 days from now, you will buy it at 5. But if it goes up to 15, you still got to buy it. So it's a little bit risky. It's really risky because there's unlimited exposure. You sold it at 10. It shoots up to 300. You now got to buy it for 300. And this is not one share of stock. This is multi-billion-dollar or $100 million activities. The hedge funds apparently lost $70 billion at this point. So anyway, they're going to short the stock. And these Wall Street Bets guys found out about this. And I think that to some degree it was because it was GameStop, which is, although many people don't shop there anymore, still holds a special place in the hearts of people of a certain age. And they said, don't you be messing with GameStop. No, I bought my first PS2 at GameStop. Don't you mess with them. And somebody realized, hey, if we all pitch in and buy, 3 shares each, and there's 1 million of us, it's going to goose the market. Now, I don't know if they expected to do that much, but as far as I can gather, and I'm still figuring out the details on this caused a spike, but Wall Street, the Reddit group, does not have the buying power to drive the stock to 300. They do have the buying power to cause a little spike. Once there's a little spike, there's always this tension between short and long sells. So short is you're hoping it'll drop. Long is you're betting it'll go up. So if you hear someone say, I'm long on something, that means they believe it's going to go up. They're excited about it. So the institutional, other hedge funds, other investors then said, oh, I think this is a trend. Let's jump on it. They buy into it. It goes up further. But it often happens that one company will go to short a stock, and then or one entity will go to short a stock, and another player will counter by trying to go long on it. And here's the crazy thing, of course, if you shorted a stock, you got to cover your position, which means you got to then buy it. And when you buy it, if it's talking 500,000, 1 million shares, whatever, if you shorted 1 million shares, you're going to have to buy 1 million shares. So if it's already got the upward momentum, that's going to then push it further up, making that the long buyer do better. So while the Redditors may have started, this is not simply a matter of Redditors versus Wall Street, although that's a wonderful narrative. There are other players involved who then got involved, institutional investors. That's also why even when Robinhood stopped the Redditors from buying, because that was the main platform they were using, it was able to continue because there was now the institutional investors in play, and it's a very complicated thing. And it's going to be very complicated to see where it goes because most people have no idea what actually happened. So I don't want to get too much into the politics of where it might go or the details because I've pretty much exhausted my expertise on this particular topic. But what we saw was the ability of 1 million people to coordinate activity for notable impact in the universe. This is not the first time. We saw this a few weeks ago. The fact that thousands of people descended on the Capitol with intent to possibly cause mayhem was certainly an effect of the internet. That's how they could be coordinated. Now, there are different opinions. There's some radical opinions like it was Antifa. Not going there. But different opinions of, did Trump mean for his followers to actually seize the Capitol, or did he just want them to go to the Capitol and protest? It is possible that there were groups, large coordinated groups, separate from Trump, who said, hey, this rally's happening, let's put a little energy into it, in the same way the Redditors kind of put a little energy into the market to spike GameStop shares. They said, hey, let's get 1,000 people down there who are ready to do whatever and take advantage of this. And then once they cross the line, others will cross the line with them. Not getting detail, but the point is the internet, that sort of internet coordination was what would allow them to get that boost. We also saw that a few months ago. There was that rally that Trump put on, I want to say it was New Orleans, where there was a campaign on TikTok to buy fake tickets. So the rally, they'd be promoting, hey, we're going to sell out. And then we get there, it'll be empty because they weren't actually going to come. That was another online event. There is a tremendous ability, and it is growing through all kinds of platforms. I can't even imagine how you would use TikTok to do this because it's an arcane platform. But whether it's Reddit or TikTok or Twitter or any number of places, for groups to organize mass action and not just showing up kind of mass action, because in the grand scheme of things, seizing the Capitol didn't actually do anything. I mean, it certainly triggered a lot of responses. There's going to be a lot of reactions. People are going to get fired, whatever. But it didn't change anything in a big way, while this GameStop thing possibly may cause some changes. The point is, there's now this ability to create this sort of mass movement. I wrote a blog article some time ago about the fact that movies give us the idea that super weapons, one-shot things are how things happen. The Death Star destroys a planet. Nuclear weapons give us this concept too. One bomb destroys a city, which has happened twice in history. More often when things happen, they happen industrially. It's not one thing. It's not a switch got flipped and a machine went into action. More often, it is a plan is engaged and 50,000 people do something. Most of the bombings in World War II weren't a big bomb. It was 20,000 little bombs. And that's how it destroyed a city. Voting, organization, grassroots campaigns. Part of the reason why parties are so powerful, why it's so hard for a third party to kick in, isn't that the parties are spending money and buying ads influence, is the parties are paying organizers. So there's a Democratic operative who knows this neighborhood, these 2,000 homes, and they're the precinct captain, and they report to a higher level coordinator, reports to a county coordinator, reports to a state coordinator, reports to a regional coordinator, and they've got this campaign. So it's not flip a switch and magic happens. It's give the order. This person tells these 20 subordinates, each of whom tell their 40 subordinates, each of whom tell their 40 subordinates, and 100,000 people are mobilized to each do a little thing. just like what happened with GameStop, just like on a lot of these things. Technology is allowing the mass mobilization of organized people, and the results of that are going to be fascinating. Could be fascinating good, could be fascinating. Remember civilization? And then it collapsed. And that was unfortunate. I don't know which one's going to be, but it's going to be something. Definitely going to be something. On to the next thing. How to get a kid to do their homework. So, a few months ago, we had two challenges with my daughter who is 6. One, we're doing distance learning. Now, she is in a day program, so she is not here all the time, which is great for our sanity. But she was supposed to be doing her schoolwork, and she wasn't getting it done. And she had all kinds of excuses. The day isn't long enough, or snack time's at the wrong time, or I was about to work, but then it's time for recess. There's a number of excuses. We couldn't tell. We weren't there. Maybe they were legit. Who knows? And the other one is that we could not get her to sleep in her own bed alone. She was scared to sleep alone. Couldn't do it. She's like, can't be done. So I, as a coach and a person who is somewhat inclined to like the concept of money, said, let me try putting an incentive on the schoolwork. Let me try moving the onus of getting the work done from us to her. You see, we were trying to get her to get the work done. We wanted to get it done. She didn't understand why she was supposed to get it done. What was the benefit? Benefit she didn't get yelled at? That's not really going to inspire. So I told her, I tell you what, here's the deal. I'm not going to get in your case anymore. I don't have the energy for it. I don't care. Here's the deal. If at the end of the day, you've gotten all your work done, you get $5. If you've not gotten all your work done, you don't get $5. And it's cumulative too. So if you have 2 assignments left over from yesterday, you got to get them done too. But that's it. I'm no longer going to push you. I'll ask you then today, did you get it done? Yes, no. That's it. Within a few days, for the first time, she got all her work done. Within a month, she was getting her work done routinely, and assuming she gets it done today, it'll be a 3-week streak of every single day getting her work done. And keep in mind, our town has been on full distance, which means 5 days a week. We've been on full distance for 3 weeks now. I think we have. So yeah, I think that's 5 days a week that she did it. So yeah, so and she's now accumulated, I think, $90 in credit. We're going to be keeping a ledger because, you know, cash is so last century. But I don't have to push her. I don't have to even ask. And in fact, she'll come out and she'll be like, hi, Daddy, I got all my work done today. And she'll then very honest say, I only do it for the $5. I don't care. And some people say, well, you know, you don't want a kid to be money focused. You want her to have intrinsic value. She is 6. She does not see the intrinsic value of getting this work done that will teach her useful skills that will benefit her in 10 years. And some of the assignments are great, and some of the assignments I don't see the intrinsic value of. But when there's an extrinsic benefit to it, and she can just, it takes the thought out of it. It's not like, what's the point of the assignment? The point of the assignment is to get it done so I get $5. Think about that, you know, in your day job. You have something like, why is my boss having me do this? You know what? I don't even care. I get paid every Friday. I'll do whatever you want, boss. It's fine. It creates that simplicity. Get it done. Make the money. The other cool thing is to see the sense of empowerment she has when she says, you know, she wants to get a laptop. She has a tablet, but there's certain things she can't do. She wants to get like photo editing software. I don't know how she's going to figure out how to use it because she can't really read yet, but she wants to get photo editing software. So we can get a laptop, put GIMP on it. You can get a nice laptop. Actually, this laptop here, visual aid is plugged into something. This laptop here was 120 something bucks. It is many years old, but it was state of the art when it was new. So it's about 120 bucks. And so she wants a laptop. And I say, cool. I got a laptop for like 120, 130 bucks. You're making $5 a day. You can buy a laptop. She's like, oh, I can buy a laptop. And then she sees this RoboFish, $5 at Walmart to put a battery in and swims through the water. She sees this RoboFish and she's like, I want the RoboFish. I said, okay, well, I'll look it up. It's about $5. I said, you can get a RoboFish. It'll cost you $5. It'll then take you 1 day longer to get the laptop you want. Do you want the RoboFish? I don't express an opinion. I don't tell her what to do. I say, what would you like to do? And she says, oh, I don't know. And I said, well, how much do you want the RoboFish? How much do you want the computer? I don't need the RoboFish. This kid is acing the marshmallow test. If you don't know the marshmallow test, it's a psychological test where a child is sat down at a table with a marshmallow on a plate, and they're told that they can eat the marshmallow, but if they wait 5 minutes or whatever period of time, they will get another marshmallow. And the kids who can wait generally are more successful in life because they can wait for other things. This kid is acing the marshmallow test. She's looking at it and being like, oh yeah, no, I don't want to spend my money on frivolous things. I want to save up for more valuable things. She's 6. And it's not just because she's a genius child, which she probably is, but it's because the proper incentives have been created and she's been empowered to her decisions. I'm not telling her what to do. I'm providing guidance saying, here it is, but it's live money. We're not playing a game. We're not simulating. I'm giving her a regular revenue stream and then the power to decide, she could say, I want to go to McDonald's and buy 200 chicken nuggets. And I'd be like, cool, let's spend your money. It's her money, whatever she wants to do with it. I mean, she can't buy drugs with it. We won't let her do that. And can't buy lottery tickets because that would be illegal. But, within legality and ethics, she can do whatever she wants with that money. And surprise, surprise, she makes responsible decisions because humans, when given responsibility, make responsible decisions. Humans, when treated like children, act like children. We've also been able to use this to get her to sleep in her own bed. Now, remember, she can't sleep in her bed. She can't sleep. She can't fall asleep. She's scared. Impossible. I said, tell you what, kid, if you can go to sleep in your bed, 50 cents a night. If you can stay there all night, $1 a night. And for the rest of January, doubled. We've done this for 2 nights now. First night, she went to sleep in her bed and then got up and came into ours. Second night, she slept through the night because she has an incentive. And she's at the point where even $1 is still a decent amount, do that, or $2, do that 7 times. You have $14. It's pretty close to 120. So I'm creating the incentives, then giving her the choices. And this is what real life does for you. You have different types of incentives. I'm using money because money is a pretty good stand-in for a lot of other things. Hello, Jennifer. Thanks for watching. Money's a good stand-in for a lot of other things, but it works pretty well. And the fact that she's getting the idea of, I like money, I want to go make some, positions her pretty well. You talk to a lot of entrepreneurs who are successful, and they'll say, well, my first job was when I was 6, 7, 5, 9, young, not 17. And it was something entrepreneurial. She's already talking about she'll make art and then say, I wonder if I can sell this. Because she's thinking about not just what can I do, but what can I make happen from it. And, kind of starting her on that road, thinking that way and empowering her to do what she thinks is best. And it's really, really powerful. I gave a Toastmasters speech for the International Speech Contest last week, which I won, the local one. There's only 2 people, but I won going on to the area. And I talked about this in terms of our state of Connecticut, and how our governor failed to employ this strategy. So our governor technically has been doing very smart things to manage the pandemic, closing the right things, opening the right things, distributing the vaccines as well as could be done. What he has not done well is lead the people. He has not led the state. And the problem is this virus can spread anywhere. So you can close the restaurants and the theaters and the gyms all you want. People just meet in their houses and the virus keeps spreading. He didn't get people on board. And I remember this at the time thinking, what you need to do and wasn't doing. The numbers are starting to rise. And he was asked, will you go back? Will you go back to phase 2? Will you shut things down again? And he had the option to say, I will if, but it's up to you. Instead he said, I don't know. Me and my team, we will decide for you if we're going to do it. And so people said, all right, well, he's going to decide, so nothing I can do about it. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. And then, of course, when the shutdowns came, people weren't saying COVID forced the business to close. People were saying Governor Lamont forced the business to close. He ended up owning something he shouldn't have been owning. Instead, what he should have said was, tell you what, guys, here's the lines. If this goes above here, if this goes above here, this goes above here, we're going to have to go back to phase 2. And if it goes above here, here, and here, we're going to go back to phase 1. You can all help by wearing your mask, by not having large gatherings, by not traveling. And that you all know this. And if you all help, we won't hit those thresholds. We won't have to close down again. If we have to close down, it's not going to be on me. I told you what the rules are. Just stick within them. Just don't cross that number. And magic would happen. He did not do that. He gave up the power of persuasion and instead just tried to. I think his business background, he's used to kind of like pulling the levers himself and not used to leading groups. And it's very unfortunate because now our numbers are back up. They're coming down again on their own, but they're back up. And I think that could have been prevented if he deployed more leadership in that way. So let's see. 2 other things I want to talk about. Oh, yes, this one's going to be fun. So people say really dumb things on the internet, as you're probably aware. And they say really awful and horrible and dumb things when it pertains to people who aren't white men. So we have vice president, incredible vice president, who is a black woman. And she is very accomplished. You may agree or disagree with her politics, but she is definitely very accomplished. She has excelled in her career. And there are people who, of course, say, because she's a woman, oh, she's slept her way to the top. And they don't give it any thought. They just like, oh, it's a woman. She can't possibly be competent. She must have used sex to get what she wants because that's the only way women can do things, right? And I thought about this. She got all the way to the vice presidency and supposedly slept her way to the top. What are the mechanics of that? How do you deploy? So you're fresh out of college and you want to get to the White House and you're willing to sleep your way to the top. How do you do that? So the people who are saying this have probably obviously never been in relationships because relationships tend to end. And people tend to get jealous. So, I mean, one way to do it would be to marry or sleep with someone who's very influential and can kind of carry you most of the way there, which I'm pretty sure she didn't do because I don't think her husband's that influential. And if he was, it'd be weird that this guy we've never heard of could, maybe he's a power broker. But so that's one possibility, but it's not what happened, obviously, because that's not her trajectory. So in order to effectively sleep your way to the top, you would have to have romantic engagements with key people that ended smoothly enough that you could then move on to the next romantic engagement with the next key person without the previous one becoming jealous or feeling like they were used or discarded. And with everyone in this chain of advancement keeping their mouth shut and keeping it secret even after the relationship was ended, which would require someone who had tremendous finesse of relationships and people. And, I have some exes I'm still on good terms with, but I have plenty who I'm not. And any one of them, if I was trying to, move into a high profile position and had dated them to get there, any one of them, if jilted, could share that story and it would bring it all crashing down. So if you actually think about the mechanics of someone who sleeps their way to the top, it doesn't really make any sense that it's possible. I mean, arguably, someone may have, there may have been one key point where they had an affair with an influential person and got some influence and moved one place. But the more times you do it, the more likely it is to come crashing down. It just doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. It's not possible. And if somebody does do it, the amount of skill and finesse that demonstrates, I think, is very respectable. So, so if you ever hear that Kamala Harris, if anyone says that Kamala Harris slept their way to the top, slap them. Because 1, they're being sexist, and 2, they're being stupid. All right, and last thing I want to talk about That's not the wording I wanted to use, but I typed these as I'm going. I take that's bad wording. So I am in the process of becoming certified as a certified coach, not just an instinctive coach, but actually with certification. And one of the processes I'm learning about is this series of levels that you can solve a problem at, from the environmental all the way up to purpose. And there's a series of questions affiliated with each level. And so part of the homework this week was to take a problem that I'm dealing with myself and basically coach myself by going through the questions, ask the questions and answer them myself. And so I did this with the problem of I need more focus, because I'm ADD and bouncing all over the place. I have a list of things to talk about, which kind of keeps me focused here, but I think you can probably see what I'm talking about. I said I need more focus. And so I went through I'm answering the questions, and by the time I get to the end of it, after going through about 14 of these questions, I realize I'm not actually that unfocused. This problem isn't as much of a problem as I thought it was. Now, back in October, November, I was all over the place because I was casting I was trying this, I was trying that. I was like, maybe I'll do it this way, maybe that way, try this revenue stream. Honestly, part of what helped me get focused was I started driving Uber Eats on the weekend, which then took away the financial pressure and gave me the time to be like, okay, all right, slow down, calm down, stop chasing the buck. You're making a couple bucks here. Now, what's the big plan? And now I'm basically doing two things. I'm running Conference 21. I'm doing my coaching. And then as side projects, I got the Michael's Motivation or the Motivation podcast, which is the daily motivational message. And this, which was going to be a one-off thing that I just kept doing because people keep engaging with it. So, you keep encouraging me. I'm going to keep doing it. So I actually kind of do have more focus than I thought. But here I was thinking, oh, my problem is I'm not focused enough. I need to be more focused. And when you are focused on the wrong problem, you then try to solve the wrong problem. And the bigger issue is you could then start fixing things that aren't broken and breaking things that aren't, breaking things that were working, or focusing on the wrong things. So, kind of think about, and what I urge you to do is think about whatever that biggest problem you think you have is, and work through it. And free offer here on the table for two people. I would still like to practice with these questions on other live people besides myself. So if you have a problem that you're stuck on and don't know what to do with, it's highly possible it is a big problem and needs to be dealt with in another way. But I would love to take one or two people through this process that I went through myself, just so I can practice. I think it'll help you as well. It certainly helped me a lot. But what you may realize when you really dive in and go through a series of go through that kind of process is, oh, I thought this was a really big thing, but actually I kind of got it handled, or I could have it handled. Like, for example, weeks ago, I had the habit of every week I would sit down and plan out the next week. Where do I want to be a week from now? And then what are the action steps to get there? Got out of that habit because I was doing that Sunday night. Sunday night became Uber driving time. And suddenly I was kind of feeling lost and wandering. So one solution was every Friday morning, I now sit down and map out the week. Useful solution. Even though the problem wasn't too big, I was able to manage it even better by doing that. But so two things. One is I did find there was a solution, and also I found that it wasn't as insurmountable as I thought. And since that was the biggest problem, you're kind of like, hey, what's stopping you from getting ahead? Well, I don't have enough focus. Well, actually, I do. What else stopped me from getting ahead? Time. Holy mackerel, I'm on the right track now. Didn't even realize it, because in my head, I'm still thinking I'm on the right track. I'm still flailing around. And suddenly I realized, no, wait, I actually have a plan. It's executing. It's going to take till April or May for it to really, engage and start going somewhere. But I have a plan. I just need to stick with it. If I hadn't realized that, 2-3 weeks from now, I could say, this isn't working yet. I don't know what to do. Maybe I need a new plan. And I could have scrapped the plan that was working, but wasn't showing results yet, and start over. And that's the worst thing. Why it's important to have that introspection. So if anyone is interested in that free session, you'll really be helping me, because I will be practicing with the questions, which I'd really love to do. And you'll be helping yourself, because maybe we'll work through your problem. And I'll have a series of questions, so I'll stay focused, because I don't know if you've heard, sometimes I'm a little bit unfocused. Sometimes. You can reach me by going to my website. There's a thing to sign up for an appointment. on there. Just put in the notes that you want to do the free thing with the questions you saw on the We Gotta Talk show. Also on there, you can find a copy of my book. You know, I wrote a book. It's up in the corner. There. The screen's reversed, which is why I look like I'm having a stroke while I do this. It's actually really hard to point at a particular point in the screen like this. Try it. I wrote this book. You can point to it in real life really easily. Go to book.guywhoknowsaguy.com, get your copy of it, because it will teach you a lot of good things about networking. I occasionally reread it and learn things myself because I kind of wrote it down over time and then, as I want to do, forgot half the things in it. And then I read it again and say, holy moly, I do know things. Wow, I'm pretty smart. I need to read my book again. I need to write more books, capture some of that knowledge. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this. Thank you for your comments. Feel free to send me more comments. And be sure, if you have not done so already, to get your tickets for Conference 21. February 20th and 21st. It's really February 19th, 20th, and 21st because 19th is a networking event. Go to conference21.com. Tickets are only $21, and you should buy them now. You should buy them now because there's a networking event on the 5th, and you want to go to it. And then you should buy them now because what are you waiting for? Even if you can't attend, all the talks are going to be recorded. You can watch them afterwards. And many of these talks are worth $21 on their own. So definitely want to do this. Go to conference21.com, $21, get your ticket, and enjoy. And if you have any feedback for me, feel free to go to guywhoknowsaguy.com and send me an email, or just put it in the comments or message me, or you know how to find me, or looking at me on Facebook or YouTube or Periscope. I don't know. You can probably find me, but if not, that's my website, and take a look. So that's what we've got. That's what I have to talk about. We don't got to talk anymore because we have now talked. But I think I'll do this again next week because it's fun. Talk to you next week.